today we are going to explore the two most used and common methods, or at least that we're used to, and that it's the fetch method to request something and the Axios method. As you see, I just did a quick setup about of the styling of the page that we are going to get our queries. What we're going to do is to use an API to get Chuck Norris jokes, and we're going to retrieve Chuck Norris jokes using the fetch method and the Axios methods. Okay, so let's go. Okay, first we are going to start with the fetch method, and we want to set up this page because it's there is nothing. When you can see, we have nothing inside. Actually, I use the styling using Tailwind and ReactJS version 6. If you want to know more about that, tell in the comments, so I can actually do in the future. So let's do a quick setup. Okay, we are going to return. We don't need to match styles, so we are going to do this here, and let me check. Oh, it's going. Okay, save fetch method. Okay, this is on the wrong net. Okay, here we have to use the fetch, and here the Axios. Okay, it was on the wrong Axios. Okay, now it's perfect. The fetch method. So first, what I want to do is here, let's say the fetch method, good. The image is also good, and we are going to create one thing more. I want to create a div that let's say here h1, some text, and also button. Okay, this is the area where we're gonna say the joke, and this is going to be our button. That's also here. Okay, I was not supposed to do any style in here, so what we are going to call check me a joke. We are going to click in this button, and it's going to render some jokes again around here. Okay, I didn't want to take to give any styling, but I think I will just do now because a quick one just for that button. If you want, you guys can go forward. So let me do that quickly. Okay, now you just have to add some functionality. We're going to click on this button, and after clicking on this button, we're going to have the text here. So as I say, the first method that you are going to use, it's the fetch method to retrieve the information from the API. So for this, I will create a function that's going to fetch the data, and we are going to use the on-click button to activate this function to retrieve the data and put the data here. So we're going to do fetch request going to be equal to, okay, here we are going to fetch, we need our API. Our API is actually that one that we want to use. It's API Chuck Norris jokes random. Okay, and the way that you use the fetch request, use the fetch, and after with the fetch after you retrieve with fetch, you do then you create response that's going to give you, that you're going to transform in a JSON response in that way. And after this, you actually use that JSON response to first we are going to do a console log JSON, see what's happening here, and also to see if there is any error, we use the catch method to catch the errors, and we're going to use error. We're going to return console error. Let's say the error is going to be equal to error. Okay, here you have to have the fetch request, and as I said, use the here on the button on click, activate that function. Here actually it's this. Okay, let's open the console and let's create check me a joke. And as you can see, the response is here. It's getting a JSON object, and what you want, it's that value here. So what we are going to do, you have to import useState, but let's hope that it's going to import automatically, to create a variable that's going to store a joke, so we can display here. Actually, we can just do this now. Let's say joke. Good. So here we have to create a concept, set joke to be equal to useState, and to useState we can put here a default parameter. So let's say we're checking network. Okay, as you can see, it's displaying here now. So what you want to do, instead of getting, when you do this, instead of console logging the response, what we are actually going to do is to set joke equal to the JSON. And I think I have to set this as a value. Okay, an expect application, not a value. Yes, because actually what you want is the value that it's on this file. And let's try this again. And as you can see, it's working. Moses did not part the Red Sea, Chuck Norris did. The Bible got off use because Moses and Chuck Norris sound so much alike. Okay. Or requesting an API, it's working fine. Chuck Norris can write the entire Declaration of Independence on his penis with a paint roller. Okay, let's now do this with the Axios method. Okay, so first, as we don't have here anything, I'll copy this to have the style. Let me see what. Okay, it's not going to be the fetch request, going to call Axios requests, and we can actually delete this using this as the Axios request. Okay, set joke. I think this is good enough again. useState is not defined. Let me define useState here very quickly. useState, and it should be good now. Yeah, Perfect. Fetch method, Axios method. Let's do something to distinguish them. Axios method. Okay, now we are good. So the first thing, okay, in Axios I'm going to do in two ways. I'm going to do with the try method, because this is that we use to catch the error, and we are going to do with the catch error too. First, let's just do the simple version. So the best thing about the Axios, you have to use the async function. Actually, what this means, because this is done to do a line one step of the time, and usually when we request API, we want to first fetch and get the data, and after to display the data. With async, we are able to do this. So let's just do the response, and we have forget to do one thing to set up to install Axios. So let's say npm install Axios, and when this is installing, we can do it quickly. We are going to import Axios from Axios, and it's going to be simple. We have to use here the await keyword, because what we're going to do is to get this API from here. Okay, we are going to get the API, and after we can log the response, just so you can see what it's doing. And think everything should be good. Check me a joke. Okay, as you can see, we have stage 200, and we have different. We have in that response we have different information, but actually you want to get the data, and in the data we want to get the value. It is the only different thing that you have to do from the fetch method. Let's refresh again. As you can see, the data, it retrieves these, and you want to have the value. So with the value, we just have to set our joke. Now we have the variable created. We have to set a joke, so this can update here. And it's going to do. No worries. Okay, Chuck Norris race light. Race lights, noise always in the dark. Chuck Norris possesses a commanding colister that can make panties spontaneously combust. And this is how you use the Axios method. The Axios method, for me, it's the simplest and one of the most effective way. As you see, you need less lines of code, and you just not only need less lines, and it's much easier to read also. But as I told you, we want to catch an error. For example, why do we want to catch an error? Imagine that I would, in the fetch API, that for example I misspell and I say shoot instead of check. So I'm going to try to retrieve, don't retrieve anything, and you can see there is here our error. That's what's catch here. And you want to do the same thing for the Axios method. So first, what you're going to say, we're going to say try this, and if this is done in the first time, which it is supposed to do, you are good. You don't need to do anything. But if you do, I want you to catch the error and to log the error. Log error, the same thing that we did in the other, error plus error. Okay, so if you are doing good, the difference in the Axios method, so there is no problem. And so let's see. Okay, let's say that we misspell an word when you say the get, and now, as you can see, we have the error that it is displayed name not resolved. And if you put the correct API again, it's doing well. Okay, it could be the war against terrorism or the war for shock terrorism. Once went fishing, but then in the fighting a shark. And Rodos King into the passion. And yeah, that's it. I'll use the fetch method and the Axios method to request something for API. Hope these help you to clarify or to use the Axios and the fetch method to request API, and hope that it was helpful for you. So until next time.